Have you ever looked at someone in their late 80s or even 90s and thought, how do they still have so much energy? Meanwhile, others seem to fade far earlier, slowing down, losing motivation, and becoming shadows of who they once were. It's easy to think this difference comes down to luck or good genes, but that's only a small part of the story. The real secret to a long, fulfilling, vibrant life lies in the daily choices we make. Not just about food and exercise, but about curiosity, connection, and purpose. These choices have been observed in the lives of people who live well past 100, people who are not just surviving, but thriving. In this video, we're diving into 5 powerful life lessons that have helped people across the world live longer and better. These lessons are based on science, tradition, and real-life stories. They're simple, practical, and they work. So be sure to watch through to the end. And if something speaks to you along the way, leave a comment to let us know. Let's begin with the first lesson. Stay curious. Keep learning, always. One of the most powerful anti-aging tools isn't a supplement or a special diet. It's curiosity, the spark that drives you to ask questions, try new things, and never stop learning, even when you've already seen and experienced so much of life. When we allow our minds to grow quiet and stagnant, we lose a part of what keeps us youthful. But when we keep the fire of curiosity alive, reading, exploring, asking, creating, we stay engaged, energetic, and deeply connected to the world. Think about 18th century inventor Benjamin Franklin. At age 70, he was still conducting groundbreaking experiments and contributing to science and society. His love of discovery kept him mentally sharp and full of purpose. Or take a more recent example, Olive Richardson, who graduated college at the age of 94. She studied alongside classmates young enough to be her great-grandchildren, and did so with pride. She said learning gave her life structure, meaning, and joy. After graduation, she even began mentoring younger students and encouraging others her age to return to school. Stories like Olive's show that learning has no expiration date, and the benefits are real. Numerous studies have shown that engaging the mind, whether through puzzles, new languages, crafts, or reading, can delay memory loss, reduce the risk of dementia, and even help manage depression. And learning doesn't have to mean going back to school. It could be reading books on a topic you've never explored, watching a documentary, or having meaningful conversations with people from different walks of life. When you stay curious, life stays exciting. It becomes easier to bounce back from challenges, stay emotionally balanced, and feel motivated about the days ahead. Whether you're 35 or 95, your brain craves stimulation, so let it grow. Keep asking questions. Stay hungry for knowledge. Because that mental activity doesn't just fill your time, it fills your soul and strengthens your will to live. Lesson 2. Move like your life depends on it. Because it does. There's one thing that people who live past 100 almost always have in common. They keep moving. It doesn't mean they're running marathons or lifting weights at the gym, although some do. It means they've made physical movement a natural daily part of their lives. And for those who want to age gracefully and energetically, this one habit may be more important than any vitamin or medication. See, after the age of 80, the most dangerous threat to your health is something many people overlook: inactivity. When we sit too much, our muscles weaken, our joints stiffen, and our metabolism slows down. Over time, this leads to frailty, balance problems, and a cascade of health issues, from heart disease and cognitive decline to depression and even increased risk of death. But there's good news. The fix is simple and incredibly effective. You don't have to become an athlete to stay young. You just need to stay active in ways that feel natural, sustainable, and joyful to you. Let me tell you about Simone Lefebvre, a woman from southern France who lived to 109. Her secret? She walked to the market every day, tended her flower garden, and danced in her kitchen whenever her favorite song came on. Nothing extreme, just consistent, joyful motion. Her story isn't unusual. In regions known as blue zones, areas of the world with unusually high numbers of people living past 100, daily movement is woven into the culture. In Sardinia, Italy, for example, many older men work as shepherds, walking several miles a day through hilly terrain well into their 90s. They don't call it exercise. It's simply part of life. This kind of movement, Natural, regular, and purposeful, helps maintain strength, balance, and vitality. Even more importantly, it improves mood, supports brain function, and keeps the cardiovascular system strong. And science backs this up. Studies show that even 30 minutes of moderate activity per day, like brisk walking, can significantly reduce the risk of chronic diseases, improve mental clarity, and even extend your lifespan. So what does this mean for you? It means movement should never feel like a chore. Instead, find activities that bring you joy. Walking with a friend, dancing in the living room, swimming, gardening, tai chi, yoga, or even light stretching while listening to music. Make it part of your day, just like brushing your teeth. Don't wait until you feel like it. Choose to move anyway, because motion is what keeps the engine running. And if you've been sedentary for a while, start small. A 5-minute walk today can become a 15-minute walk next week. What matters most is consistency. When you move your body, you energize your mind, you release tension, you build resilience, and most importantly, you remind yourself and the world that you're still alive and moving forward. Lesson 3. Build strong relationships, because loneliness can be deadly. If you want to live longer, laugh more, talk more, hug more. Simply put, connect more. In today's world, we often emphasize diet and exercise as the cornerstones of good health. But there's something just as powerful, and often overlooked: your social life. Human connection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. In fact, chronic loneliness is considered one of the most serious public health issues facing older adults today. Studies show that the effects of prolonged social isolation can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yes, you read that right. Loneliness doesn't just make you feel sad, it impacts your immune system, raises your risk of heart disease and stroke, and even increases the likelihood of cognitive decline. But the reverse is also true. Strong, supportive relationships protect your health, lift your mood, and can add years to your life. The science is overwhelming. One of the most respected long-term studies in the world, the Harvard Study of Adult Development, found that the quality of your relationships at age 50 was a better predictor of your health at age 80 than your cholesterol level. Not wealth, not career success, not even physical fitness. Connection. Let's look at a real-life example. In Okinawa, Japan, home to one of the world's highest concentrations of centenarians, there's a cultural tradition called moai. It refers to small groups of lifelong friends who commit to supporting one another emotionally, financially, and socially. These groups meet regularly, celebrate life's joys, and stand by one another during difficult times. Moai members don't just share meals or stories, they share purpose. They protect one another from the harmful effects of isolation, and in doing so, they live longer, happier lives. And it's not just in Okinawa. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, another blue zone, elders are deeply integrated into the lives of their families and communities. Grandparents live with extended family, teach traditional skills, and remain respected advisors well into old age. Compare that to many Western cultures, where aging can often mean shrinking social circles, retirement-induced isolation, and fewer opportunities to feel useful or seen. That kind of loneliness doesn't just hurt emotion. Lesson 4. Eat for energy, vitality, and a long life. You are what you eat. We've all heard the phrase, but as we age, it becomes more than just a saying. It becomes a warning and a truth rolled into one. Because once you pass 60, 70, or 80, your body changes. Digestion slows, nutrient absorption decreases, inflammation creeps in more easily, and your energy, it becomes more sensitive to what's on your plate. At this stage of life, every bite matters. Food isn't just fuel anymore, it's a daily choice between longevity or decline. The good news is, it's never too late to change the way you nourish yourself. In fact, studies show that even seniors who overhaul their diet in their 70s or 80s can still reap incredible benefits: lower blood pressure, stronger immunity, better memory, improved mobility, and a greater sense of well-being. So what does eating for longevity actually look like? First, it means moving away from highly processed, sugary, or fried foods, the kind that spark inflammation, spike blood sugar, and quietly damage your heart and brain over time. These are what many experts call anti-nutrients. They rob the body of health, one snack at a time. Instead, we turn to real food, whole food, food with color, texture, and life. Take a cue from the Mediterranean way of eating, often regarded as one of the healthiest diets in the world. This approach focuses on seasonal vegetables, whole grains, legumes, healthy fats like olive oil, fresh herbs, small portions of fish, and the occasional glass of red wine. It's not a diet in the modern sense. It's a lifestyle. Or look to the island of Ikaria in Greece, a blue zone where people regularly live into their 90s and 100s. There, people grow their own produce, eat very little meat, and incorporate herbs like sage and rosemary, both of which have anti-inflammatory effects and support brain health. In Okinawa, Japan, another longevity hotspot, elders follow the principle of hara-hachi-bu, eat until you're 80% full. It's a practice of moderation and mindfulness, and it helps prevent overeating while still enjoying food fully. And here's something else these long-living cultures have in common. They cook at home, share meals with others, and treat food as a ritual, not a rush. That matters, because how you eat is just as important as what you eat. If you're wondering where to begin, start with small, steady changes. Swap out sugary cereals for oats topped with berries and flaxseed. Replace soda with water infused with lemon, mint, or cucumber. Add a side of colorful vegetables to every meal. Incorporate more plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, and tofu. Choose olive oil over butter or margarine. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. And giving your body the nutrients it needs to repair, rebuild, and stay vibrant. Lesson 5. Discover a purpose that pulls you forward. What's the point of living to 100 if each day feels empty? That's a powerful question, and one that researchers, centenarians, and spiritual leaders all agree on. Without purpose, we wither. But with purpose, we thrive, even into our 80s, 90s, and beyond. Purpose is more than just a motivational buzzword. It's a biological need. Something deep inside us craves meaning, a reason to get up in the morning, something to care about, contribute to, or grow into. Purpose doesn't have to be big. It doesn't mean launching a charity, writing a book, or changing the world, although it certainly can. For many people, purpose comes in smaller, quieter forms. Tending a garden, caring for grandchildren, teaching a skill, being a good neighbor, offering wisdom, encouragement, or laughter to those around you. And science shows that having this kind of direction in life can profoundly affect our health. One study from the Rush Alzheimer's Disease Center found that older adults who reported having a strong sense of purpose were 2.4 times more likely to avoid Alzheimer's disease. Another study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that seniors with purpose were more likely to stay mobile, avoid depression, and even survive longer, regardless of income, education, or physical health. It turns out having something to live for is powerful medicine. Take the story of Haruki Yamashita, a retired teacher from Japan. After his wife passed away in his 80s, he fell into grief until he began tutoring children in his neighborhood. His days became full of energy and laughter again. "They needed me," he said, "and I realized I still had something to give." Or consider the famous Japanese concept of ikigai, a word that roughly translates to a reason for being. It's the sweet spot where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what brings you joy all overlap. In Okinawa, one of the world's healthiest and longest-living regions, ikigai isn't some abstract idea. It's woven into daily life. For one elder, it might be her garden. For another, it's sharing stories from the village's past. For someone else, it's simply being a kind presence to family and friends. The lesson is clear. Purpose doesn't have to be grand to be life-changing. If you're not sure what your purpose is, that's okay. It's never too late to explore. Ask yourself, what lights me up, even in small ways? What do I love doing that helps someone else? What would I regret not trying, saying, or giving before I leave this life? These questions are a good starting point. And remember, purpose can evolve. What drives you in your 50s may shift in your 70s. What matters is staying connected to something outside of yourself, something that gives your life color, shape, and direction. Let's take a breath and reflect. You've just explored 5 powerful life lessons that aren't just theories. They're the living, breathing habits of some of the healthiest, happiest people on Earth. From the hills of Sardinia to the villages of Okinawa, these timeless truths echo across generations and cultures. But more importantly, they're available to you. no matter your age, background, or current health status. So let's recap the 5 keys to a longer, more vibrant life. Stay curious, keep learning, keep asking questions. Whether you're 19 or 91, your brain thrives on discovery. Lifelong curiosity keeps your mind sharp, your spirit alive, and your days filled with meaning. Read, listen, explore, and let your wonder guide you. Move with intention. Movement is medicine, not punishment. You don't need to run marathons or hit the gym 6 days a week. You just need to move in ways that feel joyful and natural. Walk, stretch, dance, garden, or swim. Let movement become a rhythm in your life, not a task. Nurture your connections. Loneliness can quietly harm your health, but connection, it's the ultimate life extender. Invest in the people who make you feel seen and supported. Laugh with them, listen to them, grow with them. Your tribe, however big or small, is your strength. Eat with purpose. Food isn't just fuel, it's information. Every bite tells your body what to do, so choose foods that nourish, repair, and energize. Think colorful vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, and quality proteins. Let meals become a celebration of life, not a source of harm. Live with purpose. What gets you out of bed in the morning? That answer, whatever it is one of the strongest predictors of a longer, healthier life. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand, it just needs to feel meaningful to you. Whether it's creating, serving, teaching, or simply loving, let your why be your daily anchor. Now here's the beautiful part. You don't need to master all 5 overnight. Even adopting just one of these lessons right now, in your own way, can create a ripple effect. Start by taking a walk with a friend. Watch a documentary that inspires you. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Add one new vegetable to your dinner plate. Reflect on a small way you can contribute to something bigger than yourself. Longevity doesn't come from magic pills or perfect genetics. It comes from daily choices, simple ones, and the consistency of those choices, over weeks, months, and years, can transform your future. So wherever you are in life, know this: it's never too late. The body is resilient, the mind is adaptable, and the heart always has room for purpose. If you've made it to this final part, take a moment to appreciate something important. You are already on the path. Because the first step toward a longer, healthier, more meaningful life is awareness. And you've just taken that step by learning about the 5 timeless lessons practiced by those who live the longest and thrive the most. Let's be honest, we live in a world obsessed with quick fixes. 10-day diets, miracle supplements, anti-aging serums. But real longevity isn't flashy. It's quiet, intentional. It shows up in daily routines, in the way you move through life, in how you treat others, and how you treat yourself. You now have something more powerful than a magic pill. You have knowledge, you have perspective, and you have the ability to choose differently, starting today. It doesn't matter if you're in your 40s, your 60s, or well into your 90s. The human body and mind are incredibly adaptable. We've seen it time and again. Older adults who rediscover movement after years of inactivity, who make friends in new chapters of life, who shift their diets and feel decades younger, who find new purpose after a major loss or transition. And maybe you're wondering, where do I start? Start with the one lesson that resonated with you most. Maybe it's curiosity, reading that book you've put off. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you miss. Or adding a short walk into your morning routine. Maybe it's as simple as asking yourself, what gives my life meaning? Start small, stay consistent, and celebrate every step. And remember, this journey isn't about adding years just for the sake of it. It's about adding quality to those years. Energy, joy, connection, clarity, confidence. That's what makes life worth living. So before we close, I want to ask you, which of these 5 lessons spoke to you the most? What's one thing you're going to try or continue doing to support your longevity? I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. You never know, your story might inspire someone else to take action too. And if you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. A sibling, a friend, a parent. We all deserve to age with dignity, strength, and joy. This isn't just a video, it's a movement. One that reminds us that aging is not a decline, it's a new season, filled with the possibility of living deeply, fully, and intentionally. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Keep moving, keep growing, and never stop believing in the power of small choices made with love. Until next time, take care and stay vibrant.